Yeah, everybody, I'm back for another rant video, and I say this a lot of times. This one was a long time in coming, and today was the day I decided to go for it. Now, some of these rant videos have a little bit of an introduction where I kind of do a disclaimer. And in this one, I want to tell you, everybody listen closely. First, I do not hate dogs. I do not hate dogs, okay? Give me a nice, playful, friendly pup, and I love it. I'm a soft touch. I prefer cats, but I like dogs somewhat. All right? But they do things that annoy me, and that's a whole other video. Now, I know everybody out there loves dogs. 99% of you love dogs. And 99% of you, well, I think that's too much, but at least I'm sure 75% of you have dogs. So, when you have a dog, you have to take the dog for a walk, all right? And I get that. And when you walk your dog, you're not doing anything wrong by walking your dog publicly on the sidewalk, as long as you make sure you clean up after your dog and you use a little baggie and clean the poop up and all that. That's a whole other thing. It's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is when I'm going for a walk, and actually I don't own the streets. You have to say all this stuff in advance because people get upset, you know. What do you think, you own the street? Look, you have just as much right to walk your dog on the sidewalk as I have to walk. I get it. But that doesn't make it any less irritating. I try to go for walks every morning. I walk, and I'm doing my thing, and I've got my little earbuds on. I'm listening to something, and I'm enjoying the walk. And almost every time, without fail, at some point in my path, if you look at it, and it's at one point it's clear. All the way, clear sailing all the way down, and then all of a sudden, somebody's walking their dog, and the dog is stopping in front of you. You know, this could be, many yards ahead of you, and they're sniffing and peeing and walking and stopping, and all of a sudden, your walk that you were enjoying gets compromised. All of a sudden, it's like, now I'm going to become, and you're suddenly thinking, now I'm going to have to approach this person and his or her dog. For a while I was just walking and it was a clear open path. Now I got to do that. I got to deal with this. Now the question is, thoughts start coming in your head. Is the dog friendly? Is the dog going to bite? And then no, it doesn't mean I'm afraid of dogs. So let's not go there, which is another angle people are going to take this down on a tangent, which is not true. But I'm just saying, when you see a dog, you have to have your antenna up. You got to have your ears, perked up, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what he's going to do. Some of these dogs, they wag their tails and they love you and they say they're happy to see people. Other dogs, especially those little ones, they start going nuts and everything, and they start going to bite you, and then the owner's like, trying to pull it back. I don't need aggravation when I'm trying to have a peaceful walk. That's the gist of this. This is my time as much as yours, and I'm trying to enjoy a peaceful walk. But nevertheless, it doesn't fail. Every time I'm going, there has to be somebody at some point that has their dog. Now, what I do when this happens is, a lot of times I'll be like, if nothing else, they'll slow your pace down, Yeah, I'm moving at a good pace, a good clip with the walk, and now I have to go slower and slower, So sometimes what I got to do is, now I don't have the sidewalk anymore. I got to walk into the street. And if I'm walking into the street, I got the earbuds on, and they better not be too loud. I got to be able to hear the oncoming traffic. So now I got to walk in the street. And then after I pass your mutt, then I go on to the sidewalk again, until the next dog walker comes. Then I'm back in the street. I don't want to walk in the street. I want to walk on the sidewalk where I started until you came along. Now look, again, I don't hate dogs, and I do understand that dog walkers have to walk their dogs. I'm not saying, I own the street, but that doesn't make my irritation any less because you're entitled to do this. People are entitled to drive cars. Nevertheless, sometimes there's a lot of people. You're in a traffic jam. It's irritating. Bumper-to-bumper traffic is irritating, even though you're allowed to drive the car. Other people are allowed to drive, too. That's not it. Let them make their own videos. You know what I'm trying to say? You know where I'm coming from? I'm being fair here. It is an annoying thing with your pooch being out there in my path, in my way, making me have to do a detour on a morning walk. Rant over for today.